So let's talk about a couple ways to prevent yourself from getting Ferrari peaked. The biggest bit of advice that I think I can give you is essentially just not to put yourself in a position where it's easy for you to get Ferrari peaked, right? If I'm standing on this corner here, just waiting for someone to come around the corner, it's not very hard for the guy here to basically just run up around the corner, crosshair on me, and shoot. And you're screwed. Like, you will lose that fight at least half the time. So instead, I'm going to make the recommendation that you actually don't hold the angle at all, and instead you wait behind the angle, and then you play off audio or play off contact from a teammate. For those who don't know, playing off contact essentially just means as soon as you hear a teammate, you know, maybe there's a guy sitting behind car or something, as soon as you hear them engage, then you swing, because it forces the enemy essentially to be dealing with two players at one time. So rather than standing here, stand here, and then either check it every couple seconds, like so, or wait until you hear their footsteps coming, or wait until you hear a teammate start shooting at them. Let's say you have a teammate that's holding here at sandbags. As soon as he starts shooting at a guy here, right, the guy's probably somewhere around here, at which point, if you're hiding back here, this guy is going to be occupied with your teammate sandbags, at which point it's really easy for you to just come around the corner and Ferrari peek him instead, right? That's sort of the moral of the story. To avoid getting Ferrari peeked in CS2, be the one Ferrari peeking. Another fairly good example of this can be seen here. This is me playing on Vertigo a few days ago. And yeah, I'm holding short, and essentially I'm not staring down short waiting for someone to run around the corner and shoot me in the head. Instead, I'm just checking it every couple seconds and then shooting them as they come around. Another thing that's really important to do is to essentially condition your opponent into not knowing where you're going to be. If you've ever been playing on T side and the enemy has been basically entirely impossible to predict and you feel like you just can't get any purchase when trying to take a site at all and you feel hopeless, likely the enemy team had really great conditioning and that was preventing you from making any inroads. So what that means is instead of standing at this corner and just sort of jiggle peeking it every once in a while to check if they're coming, sometimes stand here, sometimes sit behind coffins, sometimes be in dark, sometimes new box, oranges, second oranges, boost, wherever, right? Always be in a different spot, especially if you're opping. I think that's a big one. If you are using the op, you absolutely should not be peeking this every single round. Otherwise, you're going to start getting util spammed. They're going to start throwing smokes, mollies, and maybe even just going A every round if they're dying to you a lot. So instead, yeah, swing banana every once in a while. Sometimes swing middle, right? Switch up the position you're playing by a lot. The op shouldn't be going middle every single round. It shouldn't be going to A every single round. It shouldn't be going to B every single round. The enemy should have maybe an idea of where you like to play, but they should never be completely certain of where it is you're going to be playing from. Additionally, in a similar vein to swinging angles instead of holding them, don't be afraid to just push sometimes. If you are not hearing the enemy on your side of the map, there's absolutely no harm. I mean, there is some harm if you die, but as a rule, it's a lot better for you to try to gain some map control towards your side of the map. Whether that means, you know, just tossing a smoke down banana and kind of clearing banana to guarantee that nobody's here with you, right? Suddenly, you can almost guarantee for your team, if you haven't heard anything B and you've done this, that it's not going to be a B hit, it will be an A hit, which means either, you know, you can inform the guys A there and they can start throwing their own defensive utility, or if you've got two guys on B, you can get your other guy to rotate while you hold up in a really sort of nasty rat angle, waiting for them to come. It's also really important on CT side, and on T side as well, but I would argue maybe a little bit more significant CT side, to be considering what sort of buy the enemy is going to have. If you know that the enemy has lost a couple rounds, they didn't get a bomb plant, and they're unlikely to have a full buy, I would not be playing inside apartment halls. I think that's really dangerous because you're probably going to get hit with a Mac 10 rush or a Glock rush or a tech rush. And as a rule, against an eco, you're going to be far better served playing sort of from a distance, holding an angle that is sort of further away and makes it harder for them to kill you with their sort of shorter ranged weapons, right? Like in an absolute worst case scenario, I think this right here is probably the worst place you could possibly play, like on all of Inferno, if you know that they are going to be on an eco round, just because there's a very high chance they're going to be coming through apps. There's a very high chance that 3 guys are going to jump around the corner with Mac 10s, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. You might kill 1. If you're lucky, you'll kill 2. You're not going to get the 3rd. Although, sandbags also probably top 3 worst places to play against an eco at. Instead, you should be considering things like maybe I'll head glitch from coffin, right? This is going to be way harder for someone with a Mac 10 to kill you from. I also think it's worth knowing that you shouldn't be playing positions that force you to frag out. Let's say, for example, this new cubby here that they've added on Inferno. I don't actually like this position pretty much at all, unless it's as sort of like a one-off gimmick round. Mostly because if the enemy has any inkling that you're going to be here, what this means is you have absolutely nowhere to go, right? If you miss your first shot on the guy coming around the corner, you're screwed because you can't get out of here. There's nothing you can do. Like, you are completely trapped. Similar deal in Cubby here. It's not quite so bad because you've got a little bit more time to sort of reset your fight and try to kill them as they push up towards you. But again, if you want to escape here, you're going to have to either drop a smoke grenade and then try to cross, or flash yourself out, or get a teammate to help you. Instead, if you're playing something like this corner back here, you miss your shot, you can just run back to site and then either take the fight apartments or up short. Overall, I hope the video was helpful. I hope you learned something, and if you did, please subscribe for more no bullshit guides to getting better at Counter-Strike. Thanks. Bye.